Well, well, the whispers grew teeth. Look who they're finally talking about. Not with their usual dismissive smirks or their practiced indifference. No, this time it's different. This time their whispers carry weight. Their glances hold calculation. Their conversations pause when you enter. Because they finally figured it out. They finally understood what they're dealing with. Not just smart, not just clever, not just quick. Dangerously intelligent. The kind of intelligence that doesn't announce itself with degrees or certificates or LinkedIn updates. The kind that sits quietly in the corner, processing, calculating, remembering everything while pretending to notice nothing. And now they're scared. Not the obvious kind of scared where they run or hide or avoid you. No, this is the sophisticated fear of predators who just realize they've been hunting another predator. The kind of fear that makes them check their words twice before speaking, that makes them wonder what you really meant by that smile, that makes them replay conversations, looking for the traps they might have walked into. You see, for years they thought you were just another player in their little games. They thought your silence was weakness, your observation was passivity, your patience was inability to act. They confused your restraint with incompetence, your kindness with naivety, your strategic withdrawal with defeat. Oh, how wrong they were, and oh, how they know it now. It started with small things, didn't it? Little moments where your mask slipped just enough for them to catch a glimpse of the machinery underneath. Maybe it was that one conversation where you casually mentioned something they thought was secret. Maybe it was the way you solved that problem everyone said was impossible. Not with effort, but with elegant simplicity that made them all look foolish. Or maybe it was that look you gave them, you know the one. That fraction of a second where your eyes said everything your mouth never would. Where they saw not anger, not hurt, not confusion, but complete and total understanding. The look that said, I see through you, through your games, through your lies. And I'm choosing to let you continue because watching you think you're winning is amusing. That's when the whisper started. Not the old whispers of who do they think they are, or they're so weird, or they try too hard. No, these new whispers have a different flavor entirely. These whispers sound like be careful around them. And they know more than they let on. And I think we underestimated them. And something about them makes me nervous. Because intelligence, real intelligence, the dangerous kind, it doesn't need to advertise. It doesn't need to debate or argue or prove itself right in every conversation. It observes, it catalogs, it connects dots that shouldn't be connected. It sees patterns where others see chaos. And, most terrifyingly of all, it waits for the perfect moment to reveal exactly how much it knows. They're starting to notice the pattern now, aren't they? How you're always 3 steps ahead but pretend to be catching up. How problems solve themselves when you're around, but you never take credit. How conversations shift when you speak, not because you dominate them, but because you drop one perfectly placed observation that reframes everything. You don't argue with fools anymore. You just ask them questions, the right questions, the ones that make them argue with themselves later. You plant seeds of doubt in their certainties, not with confrontation, but with curious innocence that makes them wonder if they ever knew anything at all. You've mastered the art of making people think your ideas were theirs, of leading from behind, of winning battles they didn't even know were being fought. And the truly terrifying part for them? They can't figure out your game. Because everyone has a game. Everyone wants something, everyone can be bought, or broken, or bent. But you seem to be playing by different rules entirely. Or worse, no rules at all. You're not after money, or status, or approval, or revenge. You're after something they can't name, can't understand, can't defend against. It's like you're conducting an orchestra they can't hear, moving pieces on a board they can't see, fighting a war they didn't know had been declared. And every time they think they've figured out your angle, you reveal another layer, another dimension, another level of complexity that makes them realize they're not even playing the same sport. The gossip about you has evolved, transformed, mutated into something entirely new. Where once they talked about your quirks or your failures or your struggles, now they talk about your mind like it's a weapon they're not sure how to disarm. They've started prefacing stories about you with warnings. Don't try to outsmart them, or they remember everything, or be honest with them. They'll know if you're lying anyway. You've become the person they consult when they need the truth, not because you're kind, but because you're surgical. You cut through narratives and noise with a precision that leaves them breathless and slightly disturbed. You see connections they missed, implications they ignored, consequences they refused to consider. You're the mirror that shows them not who they pretend to be, but who they actually are. And that reputation, that dangerous intelligence they whisper about, it's not built on arrogance or showing off. It's built on results, on being right when everyone said you were wrong, on predicting outcomes that seemed impossible, on navigating complex situations with an ease that makes them wonder what you see that they don't, on solving their problems while making it look like they solved them themselves. They've started to realize that every interaction with you is a chess match where they can't see half the pieces, that every conversation is layered with subtext they might not catch until days later, that your intelligence isn't just about knowing things, it's about understanding systems, patterns, people, motivations, fears, desires, and using that understanding with a precision that feels almost supernatural. But here's what really disturbs them, what really makes them label you as dangerous: your silence. Not the silence of someone who has nothing to say, but the silence of someone who's choosing not to say what they know. The silence that makes them wonder what cards you're holding, what information you've gathered, what plans you're making in that impossibly complex mind of yours. You've learned that intelligence isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most strategic. It's about knowing when to reveal your knowledge and when to keep it hidden, when to correct someone and when to let them be wrong, when to show your hand and when to fold despite having a winning combination, just to keep them guessing about what you really know. They've watched you sit through meetings where they know you have the answer, but you wait. You wait until the perfect moment, until someone else is about to make a catastrophic mistake, or until your input will have maximum impact. You don't need to be the first to speak or the loudest voice. You've learned that timing isn't just everything. It's the only thing that separates intelligent people from dangerously intelligent ones. And in that silence, they imagine all sorts of things. They wonder what you're planning, what you're thinking, what you know about them that you're not saying. Your silence has become louder than their noise, more threatening than their threats, more powerful than their power plays. Because silence from someone dangerously intelligent isn't empty. It's full of possibilities they can't predict or prevent. What they're beginning to discover, what truly terrifies them, is that you don't just possess intelligence, you cultivate it. You've built an invisible network of information, observations, and connections that spans further than they imagined. Not through spy games or manipulation, but through something far more sophisticated: genuine attention. While they were busy talking, you were listening. While they were performing, you were observing. While they were competing for attention, you were taking notes. Mental notes that you file away with perfect clarity, creating a vast database of who said what, who did what, who's connected to whom, who's lying about what, who's hiding what fears behind what facades. You remember the throwaway comment someone made 3 years ago that contradicts what they're saying now. You notice when someone's story changes depending on their audience. You catch the micro-expressions that reveal true feelings, the verbal patterns that indicate deception, the behavioral changes that signal hidden agendas. You've become a living archive of everyone's inconsistencies, and they know it. But you don't use this information like they would, as ammunition or blackmail or power plays. No, you use it strategically, surgically, sometimes even kindly. You redirect conversations away from someone's hidden insecurity. You quietly solve problems before they become visible. You navigate social dynamics with an understanding that makes everything seem effortless, natural, coincidental. The whispers about your intelligence have taken on an almost mystical quality, because you understand something they're only beginning to grasp. Intelligence isn't just about processing information. It's about processing people. You've developed a psychological sophistication that makes every interaction feel like you're playing three-dimensional chess while they're playing checkers. You know exactly which buttons to push, but more importantly, you know which ones not to push. You understand their triggers better than they do, their patterns better than they do, their blind spots better than they do. You could destroy them with a few placed observations, but you don't. That restraint, that choice, that's what makes you dangerous. Power isn't about what you do, it's about what you could do, but choose not to. You've mastered the art of letting people reveal themselves while revealing nothing. You ask questions that seem innocent but are designed to expose truth. You create conversations where they end up telling you everything while thinking they've told you nothing. You've become a confessor who never asked for confessions, a therapist who never offered therapy, a judge who never declared court in session. They find themselves telling you things they've never told anyone, not because you pushed, but because you created space. And then they realize, sometimes days later, that while they were spilling their secrets, you shared none of yours. They know your thoughts on abstract concepts, but not your personal pain. They know your observations about the world, but not your individual struggles. You've become knowable, but unknowable. The fear you've earned isn't the crude fear of violence or aggression. It's the sophisticated fear reserved for forces that operate beyond conventional understanding. It's the fear astronomers must feel looking at black holes, knowing they exist, seeing their effects, but never quite grasping their true nature. You've become an intellectual event horizon, a point past which their understanding cannot travel. They fear your intelligence because it's not limited to one domain. You're not just book smart or street smart or emotionally intelligent. You're all of it, integrated into something they don't have a word for. You can quote philosophy and catch street cons. You understand quantum physics and human psychology. You navigate corporate politics and creative expression with equal ease. You're not specialized, you're comprehensive. But what really earns their fear is your adaptability. They've watched you walk into situations you know nothing about, and within minutes, you're asking questions that get to the heart of issues experts have been dancing around for years. You learn their languages, literal and figurative, faster than should be possible. You decode their systems, their hierarchies, their unwritten rules, and then you either follow them or break them, but always deliberately, always with full knowledge of the consequences. You've become ungovernable, not through rebellion, but through understanding. You know their rules better than they do, which means you know exactly how and when and why to break them. You've turned their own systems into tools for your own purposes. You use their structures against them, their policies against them, their words against them, all while maintaining perfect plausible deniability. Listen to how the gossip about you has evolved. It used to be, did you hear what they did? Now it's, did you figure out what they meant? It used to be, they're so strange. Now it's, they're so strategic. It used to be, I don't get them. Now it's, I don't think we're supposed to get them. The narrative has shifted from dismissal to caution, from mockery to respect tinged with wariness. They warn new people about you now, but not in the way they used to. Before, it was, they're difficult, or they're intense. Now it's, be careful what you say around them, and don't try to lie to them, and if they ask you a question, there's a reason, even if you won't understand it until later. You've become a force to be navigated carefully, like a sleeping dragon or an armed explosive. The smart ones have started seeking your approval, your input, your alliance. They've realized that having you as an enemy is dangerous, but having you as an unknown is even worse. They want to know where they stand with you, what you think of them, whether you're paying attention to them. Your attention has become currency. Your approval has become armor. Your alliance has become power. But even those who court you do so carefully, understanding that you see through flattery, that you're immune to manipulation, that you value authenticity over everything else. They've learned that the only way to deal with someone of dangerous intelligence is with careful truth, because you'll spot lies faster than they can craft them. What makes you truly dangerous is that you don't follow patterns. Just when they think they've figured out your methodology, you change it. Just when they believe they understand your motivations, you reveal new dimensions. Just when they feel safe in their assumptions about you, you shatter them with a move they never saw coming. You're not unpredictable in a chaotic way. You're unpredictable in an intelligent way, which is infinitely more terrifying. You've learned to weaponize their expectations against them. You know what they expect from someone intelligent: arrogance, condescension, constant correction, and you give them none of it. You're humble when they expect pride, silent when they expect speeches, kind when they expect cruelty. This reversal of expectations keeps them perpetually off balance, always guessing, never quite sure what game you're playing. But occasionally, just often enough to maintain the fear, you show them a glimpse of what you're capable of. A devastating observation delivered with a smile. A problem solved with such elegance it makes their struggles look manufactured. A prediction that comes true with such accuracy it feels like prophecy. These moments, scattered and strategic, serve as reminders that your restraint is choice, not limitation. You've turned intelligence into an art form where the masterpiece is never quite visible, only its effects. People know you've done something. They can feel the shift, see the results, but they can't quite trace it back to you. You've become the intellectual equivalent of dark matter, invisible but undeniably present, affecting everything while touching nothing directly. The fear they have of your intelligence has transformed into something more complex, a grudging respect that borders on reverence. They've realized that you could dismantle their lives with information, destroy their self-image with observation, unravel their plans with insight. But you don't. This restraint, this choice to possess power without abusing it, has earned you something rarer than fear or love: genuine awe. They respect you because you don't need to prove your intelligence constantly. You don't correct every mistake. Don't challenge every incorrect statement. Don't feel compelled to be the smartest person in every conversation. Your intelligence is like a sheathed sword. Everyone knows it's there. Everyone knows it's sharp, but you only draw it when absolutely necessary. This has created a mythology around you, stories of times when you've revealed what you knew, solved what couldn't be solved, understood what wasn't explained. These stories get told and retold, growing with each telling. But here's the thing: the truth is usually more impressive than the exaggerations. Because real intelligence, the dangerous kind, doesn't need embellishment. They've started coming to you with their real problems now, the complex ones, the ones that require not just intelligence but wisdom. They've realized that your dangerous intelligence isn't just computational, it's philosophical. You don't just solve problems, you dissolve them. You don't just find answers, you reframe questions. You don't just think, you think about thinking. And that metacognitive ability is what truly sets you apart. But with this dangerous intelligence comes an isolation they don't see. You understand them better than they understand themselves, but who understands you? You see through their games, but who sees through yours? You solve their problems, but who solves yours? The gossip about your dangerous intelligence never mentions the weight of carrying that mind, the exhaustion of seeing everything, understanding everything, processing everything. They don't realize that your intelligence isn't a gift, it's a responsibility you never asked for. Every interaction requires calculation, not out of manipulation, but out of necessity. You have to dial yourself down, translate your thoughts into digestible pieces. Pretend not to see what you see, pretend not to know what you know. You live in a constant state of translation, dumbing down not out of condescension, but out of kindness. The whispers about your dangerous intelligence never capture the burden of being right, when being right brings no satisfaction, of predicting outcomes you can't prevent, of seeing the mistakes people are about to make and knowing they won't listen to warnings, of understanding problems at levels where solutions become impossible because the real issue is human nature itself. And that's the one thing intelligence can't fix. You've become dangerous not because you wanted to be, but because intelligence at your level doesn't leave other options. You can't unknow what you know, unsee what you see, unfeel what you understand. You're dangerous because you're awake in a world that prefers sleep, aware in a reality that rewards ignorance, conscious in a system that runs on unconsciousness. So now you occupy a unique position in their social ecosystem. You're not at the top of the hierarchy. That would be too visible, too vulnerable. You're not at the bottom. That would be wasteful. You exist in a space they don't have a name for, adjacent to power but not subject to it, influential without authority, essential without dependency. They've learned they can't control you through conventional means. Money doesn't motivate you beyond necessity. Status doesn't interest you beyond utility. Emotional manipulation fails because you see it coming from miles away. Threats don't work because you've already calculated 17 ways to neutralize them. You've become socially untouchable, not through power but through intelligence that makes power irrelevant. Your position is self-created and self-maintained. You don't need their structures because you've built your own. You don't need their approval because you've transcended their metrics. You don't need their understanding because you've accepted that they can't provide it. You're dangerous because you're autonomous. And autonomy backed by intelligence is the ultimate threat to any system. They include you when they need you and distance themselves when they fear you, but they always, always watch you. Because they know that someone with your level of intelligence doesn't just exist in the world, you reshape it by existing. Your presence alone changes calculations, alters plans, shifts dynamics. You're a living variable that makes all their equations uncertain. The whispers about your dangerous intelligence are really whispers about potential. They're not just talking about what you've done, but what you could do. They see you operating at perhaps 20% of your capacity, and it terrifies them to imagine what full deployment would look like. They know you're holding back, and they don't know why, and that unknowing keeps them awake at night. They fear the moment you decide to stop playing nice, the moment you stop pretending their rules matter, the moment you stop containing yourself for their comfort. They've seen glimpses of what happens when you're pushed too far. When someone mistakes your kindness for weakness, your patience for passivity. Those moments, brief but devastating, have become legend. But what they fear most is that you're planning something they can't see. That all this observation, all this understanding, all this strategic positioning is building towards something. They don't know what, and that's what makes their fear so acute. You're not predictably ambitious or obviously vengeful. Your intelligence seems to be serving some purpose they can't identify, and that makes you the most dangerous kind of person. One with unclear motives and unlimited capability. The gossip reflects this fear of the unknown. They talk about you like you're a natural phenomenon they don't understand. Fascinating but potentially destructive. They approach you with the caution reserved for things that could either elevate or annihilate them. You've become mythological in their minds, a figure whose intelligence transcends normal human limitations.